Hello everyone, it's time to do this again, because there have been a lot of problems that have been bugging me for a while that I really want to fix. This episode I'm just going to be fixing all the tiny little things that have been bothering me, and all the things that my past self decided to leave for the person who was at that time my future self, but who is now my present self. That sentence made sense. Okay, so first, this. Hey, stop. This. Ruined the effect. I personally think that this space is just a glaring empty space. And I know we could keep it the way it is, and I don't like to change my phonology is after I've made the language, but I feel like this is necessary. And we can just say it's in G. Nice and simple. And there's actually no place where it would have come up yet. We'll just add that in our future words if we needed to. So next is the stress, because a word like quinoa is also perfectly possible, so this quinoa is a problem. And we can fix this by modifying our stress rule, by marking the stress, or changing this part. And we have, and also remove this from the outline, we have a pretty fixed stress rule here. So we could say that these do alter stress, because it is derivational. Well, technically, guess we should add a footnote. I don't even remember what it's called. Okay. And now, this. This construction. What was I thinking? But before we do any of that, I made this felt format chart. Yeah. You can see the deviation. The long vowels show what were probably the original pronunciations, but then it all rotated counterclockwise a little bit. So then you have pairs like oo and oo. It's a bit more fronted. And also this shows that this is not the true. It's somewhere between aw and all. It's like all, around there. My point is, whatever vowel you as an English speaker use in caught, unless you have the merger, you can use that here. It's a bit of a convenience. Unless it's long, then you have to use all. But yeah. Why? What was I thinking? Affect is a transitive verb. This means that we had some original construction, which may have marked the accusative. Accusative? But my point is, like, this is completely... I made this document listing some ways I think we could end up doing our syntax. on the transitive verbs. So this is what we have right now. But we need this original verb. Original transitive. But we need this original transitive verb strategy. So then this is basically the same thing, except you're using the genitive on the subject, which makes more sense, you know. And then we get tripartite alignment, that's good. I like tripartite alignment. And then we can also do this, which is just SVO, and it needs a passive. There are just so many things. It doesn't make sense. I don't like the result, because you just get the SVO. It's like English. These ones at least have an interesting result. But then I've saved this one, which is probably the best one, for last. And there's this option down here, but you don't need to worry about that one. So see, this way, if it's two different clauses, and this stuff happens, I'm not going to read that aloud, you get SVO word order, but then you mark the transitive verbs, and you get different transitive meanings of an intransitive verb with a set of invariable word final particles. It's like you might say that for to speak. And then you could say that for X speaks. And then X insults Y is something like that. I don't know I don't know why I was changing that. It's just, this is one way it could turn out. And then you might say this for X complements Y. And then you have my point is there are a lot of options, and so many cool things could happen. So then that is what I'm going with, and you will notice that there is no accusative here. And we will also say because we do need to make that note. But we're just dropping cases left and right. Before we know it, it will just be a nominative and locative. Genitive, maybe. This is cool. Now, do we have any transitive verbs? Oh yeah, we can kill this too. Yes. Die. Die! We don't need you anymore, transitive verb. You know, we probably need a sheet now for the different verb meanings. I don't like to let the sheet names get too long here. And then here, we just have and then that. So then these are the meanings. Then we list the verbs here. So to stand. I'm going to widen that column a bit. Actually, all of these will be having definitions in them. So 165. That's actually a bit wide. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. And then we'll have the different particles here. So we probably don't even need this part, but what? No, I believe that we can now actually get this part worked out. So now we can get this part worked out. Why didn't I have the heading center aligned? I was young and stupid. Okay, so our future, that's pretty obviously going to come from go, which may have come from something like walk. Oh, right. This should be, wait. It's supposed to be in the ultimate syllable. Here. This is normal. Okay, so maybe we have, wait, I said something down here. Yeah. That's the best we can do for now. So our word for go might come from walk, which would at least be related to foot, maybe, or leg, or maybe those are the same word. So we can get a word that is actually used. What? Ah! And speaking of being used, I don't think that's fully necessary. No, I'll keep it. So then we can use for this That's fine. So this is a noun, it means leg or foot. And then maybe it's reduplicated to make the word for to walk. I'm not sure about that. Or maybe there was a word for move, and then foot move, or leg move. Maybe it could just be used as a verb. Maybe it was zero derived. And that could work. Well, I don't know. I think reduplicating it would work. So then you get angang, 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 which might just go to ngang, ngang, ngang. But if it's used often, it might just go to ngang, or just nga. And we say this is still used. Wait, do verbs agree with the person? No, they don't. Okay. This is our shortest etymology so far. So then we can say that the future is what? What's going on? I'm not learning more about filter views. Alright. So we unmerge it. Change that. And merge it again. Can I set data in this merged cell? What was wrong with it? It's just fine now. Huh? Okay. So we also need a past, but for now I think what we should worry about is this. What is our old conjunction for and? Maybe we're still using it in a slightly more reduced form. So in Swahili, the word na means both and with. So we could do that. And then our word for with might originally mean alongside. So that could be stand group. Yeah. This is a head final language, though, so group, since it's modifying, would go first. So this would start out as iwasol, and then iwasol, 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 iwasol. Well, it's long, so it's iwasol, 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 iwasol. Might be wasol. And so since neither of those words have any etymology yet, and so since neither of those words have any etymologies, thank goodness, this is it. But then we say it might have been used in an older form. What is this doing up here? I put it in the complete wrong row. It might even be simplified just to sol. Wait. See, this is why I needed this episode, to clear up all the mistakes. Okay, so then the transitive verbs, don't need this column. So then the transitive verbs would be marked with a suffix of sol. And so now, let's get our first transitive verb as a celebration for the end of this episode. So, an old word for to be harmed is maybe whom. Well, whom. Yeah, don't expect me to pronounce the vowel formats all the time. This is just the way it is. I guess maybe more accurately, we might write it like that. I'm using strike through, not the real character, just this for this, because I'm not keeping it that way. But I don't think we need to do that. But this is probably not used anymore, so. And then we can have our first particle, which is maybe who. Also, one more thing. Not all of these will work with all of the particles. So we'll say that if it's not available, then they will not be italic. And we'll say it's bold. Well, nah. So then if we have, so then these are italic. But if I say it's NA, is this conditional formatting doing anything for me? No, it's not. It's just putting it as the default. Google Sheets, I love you, but there are so many ways you could be better. So well, we probably don't even need to write it. So this, wait, that's why these weren't italic in the first place. So someone stands and someone else is harmed. So that would be to ignore, to let suffer. Maybe. Something like that. We've done so much. Oh, this was tiring. I think we can do one more particle. So let's say, what's a sound we haven't used yet? Here we haven't used y or v. So maybe we could say a and then this could be simplified to V and be a sort of causative. You can probably think of some metaphorical meaning for that, but for now, I'd say we've done a pretty good job today. We've fixed all of the mistakes that I made before. I'm very happy with this. We need a name for this language soon.